managing your emotional needs and the child emotional needs, that is just double emotion.
Yes.
That is just too overwhelming. That is emotion times emotion. Welcome back to our channel, and thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry Ann Elaine.
And I am Lowenfield Elaine.
And we are here to share with you tips and tricks of how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. All right, so we are still looking at parental challenges, the struggles that parents go through with children on the spectrum or special needs children on a whole. We normally refer to the spectrum because our son is on the severe end of the autism spectrum. But of course, you can find a lot of information here that's related to other areas of special needs as well. All right, so this week we're going to be talking about the challenges that single parents go through. So we're not going to be leaving out anybody. Today we did a presentation on the single parent struggles.
Yes.
And we want to share with our wider audience. The single parenting struggle is real. It is everywhere. Much more the ones on the spectrum or having to deal with special needs.
Right. So we know that there are different kinds of families, right?
Yeah.
Nuclear family, extended family, and of course, a single parent is indeed a family unit. So we want to cater for all of the different units and single parents, especially when it comes on to the autism community.
Yeah.
Single parents make up a significant number of those individuals in the community. So we lift your hat to you single parents, especially you single moms, because we know the moms are predominantly those that are the ones left to care for these special needs children, and in this case the children on the autism spectrum.
Right.
So
and if we have single dads too,
yes,
who have to deal with it, we just want to be, thanks for not running away.
Thank you.
Because 36 studies have shown that 36% of parents or spouses in relationship, they fall apart, they're separated when they hear that the children are either on the spectrum or have some form of special needs, and the other parent is really left to struggle through all these issues. I mean, we as a couple, we are very supportive and we have each other's back.
Right.
But I just don't want to think about how these single parents does it, because there are times when we feel like we are just out of it, we are deflated, we can't manage. But a single parent.
Yes.
All right, so let's jump right into it. So, Daddy, I'm going to allow you to take the lead.
Right. So the first one that we want to look at as far as the common challenges faced by single parents is financial strain. It's difficult enough being a couple and having to bear that financial burden, especially to care for the child on the spectrum. But a single parent will have it twice as hard, because that's just one income that is gonna be needing to stretch farther than normal. And to care for a special needs child, it is indeed financially challenging to care for a child that is on the spectrum. When you think about the different kind of therapy sessions that need to be done, and if the child has to have a student assistant, or what we call a shadow, and if they attend a full special needs institution, the fees there typically tend to be larger than your regular
exorbitant
than your regular institution. So the challenges when it comes down to finance, they are indeed very, very real for these parents, and that's the first challenge that we want to highlight.
Yeah. And the second challenge is emotional stress.
Yeah.
Now, managing your emotional needs and the child emotional needs, that is just double emotion.
Yes.
That is just too overwhelming. That is emotion times emotion, because you will have to balance the finance, the everything, and just think. You have to think about everything that is going to happen every step of the way.
Yes.
That is enough emotion. And how much more can we say? Emotional stress is just overwhelming.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. So the next thing we want to look at is limited time.
Tell me about it.
The parent, more than likely, they'll have to work and probably even work 2 jobs because of the financial challenges that this face. It may be difficult to afford assistance in the home, so it means that that parent would now have to be doing more of the household chores and activities as well. And unfortunately, the parent will have less time for him or herself.
Yes.
The thing that we have as a couple is that sometimes we can back each other up, and it allows me to get some stuff done, or Terrian to get some stuff done. But when you're a single parent, you're just on this journey on your own.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yes, so it's a difficulty trying to strike what we call that work-life balance. So limited time is definitely one of those.
Is there anything as a work-life balance?
Yeah, that's it. Well, they have to
we
strive too.
we hardly have work-life balance.
Yes.
Much more these parents. It's just rough. What can we say, right? And to navigate, they have the different doctor's appointments too. Because that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of. You just don't have sufficient time in the day to do all these kind of stuff. So let me tell you, if you go to a single parent house and you see their house look like it upside down, you don't worry about it. I feel them normal. That.
Yes.
If you can't help, don't say anything.
Right.
You understand? But that must be a challenge.
I want to speak a little bit there to the employers of these parents. Please practice some empathy because their situations are indeed challenging. If they have to take the child to therapy, they have to navigate through traffic to get there and to get back to work. If they're coming from out of town, then that means that they have to take the day off. So and in some instances they have to lose income just to try to get therapy for their child. So employers, please be mindful of that and see in whatever way you can to support these single parents.
Yeah, and I just want to add too that there are some areas of employment that it's not even going to be realistic for them to really be getting these kind of time. So it is imperative to choose the job functions that will give, because sometimes it's not necessarily that the employers may not want to, but given the nature of the job, they probably are not allowed to. So sometimes it's important to, negotiate for the areas or try to work in areas where flexibility is a little bit more, because there are some jobs that you can work flexi hours and some jobs will allow you to work at home, to work from home to work out that balance. But there are some jobs you just can't work from home because certain areas in the bank you can't work from home. So, it has to be a balance there.
Yes.
In terms of, so we just don't want to say the employers, we also want to look at, the parents choosing the kind of job that will give the kind of flexibility as well.
All right, so the next challenge we're going to be looking at is social isolation. We would have covered this a little bit in some of our earlier videos, but we want to emphasize it here because for a single parent, there are not many activities that he or she would be participating in.
Yeah.
Things like birthday parties and other get-togethers, etc. Being the parent of a child that is on the autism spectrum, the child may be seen as disruptive and uncontrollable. So chances of the parent and the child being invited to certain events are going to be limited. So the parent is gonna feel a little bit shut out is gonna feel a little isolated
Yeah.
because not many events that they will be more or less invited to share
to share in. And I just want to add to this, dear, in the area of social isolation, that you know, even going to church sometimes,
Yes.
you can be isolated.
Yes.
Because we have had circumstances of persons stop going to church.
Yes.
Because of how church members speak about their children, or the children are seen as being disruptive in service, and as a result of that you know, that shame and everything, they just stop going.
Yes.
And again, they are being isolated under these circumstances as well.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Our final point, one more of the challenge that single parent go through, and that is the future planning of their child.
Yes.
There is huge anxiety on a single parent. They worry about their child's future, because if you don't have a good support system in terms of family, because guess what? Not every family member going to take the special needs child them.
Right.
If it's another child that has promise and everything, and you look like you have little something, then you might find somebody, an auntie or an uncle may want to care for them. But trust me, very few will take the special needs child.
Yes.
So it's very concerning. I mean, we as a couple who have each other, we have concern.
I want to add a little bit here as well, as it relates to the financing of the child in the future. It's overwhelming coping financially today, much more when the child becomes older and may need to progress to other institutions, which become even more challenging financially, because the demands in terms of the fees, etc., are gonna be much higher. So I'm encouraging the single parents, although it is challenging, try to put something away. Try to find a plan that you can put some kind of funds in, as small as it may be. Just drop some money in there, and then you'll see how it doesn't matter how little it is, it will work out in the long run. Try to look for things like grants and those sort of things, scholarships and so on, that can help.
Dear, the question now that I'm going to ask you, some of these parents not able to finance what's going on now. How am I going to save nothing for tomorrow?
But I agree.
and we do understand the challenge. But I mean, if it is even a little $1,
yes, that
put
is
on
it.
something.
Yeah.
You understand? It's very important, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. All right. Now we're gonna look at some ways of how to cope. No, because we just talk about a whole bunch of overwhelming situation for the single parent. It's for any parent, but this evening is today. It's for every parent, but today we just want to dedicate this presentation to our single parents. Right now, we want to talk about how to cope. Now, the first thing I'll say is build a support network. It is imperative. You can't do this alone. Build a support network. Initially, you may find that some friends are going to leave you, because you may have some friends before, but because your circumstances change now, they're not going to be there anymore to support you. But there are support groups out there. Join a church. Make sure you join a church community. Join some groups. There are so many different community groups that are around now, right?
Yeah.
Join a group. Join a parent support group. We are a part of a parent support group, right? And we have a lot of support going there for parents mentally, right? Don't try to do it all by yourself. You must get a network. You can't pour from an empty cup, so you need support.
So as you talk about pouring from an empty cup here, let me segue into the next one, which is really prioritizing self-care.
Ooh.
Self-care is really where you try to pour into yourself so that you can be able to pour into that child of yours. I know you're gonna have challenges sleeping if the child has insomnia. Just challenging. It may be just challenging coping if they have ADHD. Or a child that's just always on the run, keeping you on your toes,
very active,
making you very exhausted, so you can't even get the things that you need to do done. But definitely find some time for yourself. Whatever activity that you enjoy, you may not be able to do it as much as you probably would before you had the child, but try to engage in some form of activity that will help you to recharge. I don't know if it's exercising, I don't know if it's playing a particular game, whether it be a physical game or an online game. Whatever it is, you need a little bit of downtime. So please take a break and take some time for yourself.
Yes, and the next thing is tap into the available resources. There are resources that are available. I mean, there are government assistance programs, there are therapy services, there are educational support, and recently we have the benefit, and we just want to insert and just talk about them a little bit more, and that is the Anderson Child Management Group, right? They offer caregiver support for in the classroom, and they are doing some amount of extension to homes, right? And we just want to know that we are pleased to have them on board with us, because they provide us with some support. And guess what, guys? Sometimes you can go get a little time for yourself while these things happen. And we have a wonderful network of friends and church brethren who would just jump in and help us out and allow us to take a break. So tap into the resources that are available. Don't try to do it on your own. All right. Now the next one is create a structure or a routine. Right. Now we talk about creating structure for the children, but guess what? We too need to be structured, or else we're not going to get through this. Right. We have our structure that we do. So as in our little family, we also have our structure. We know what our routines are on a daily basis, on weekends. We know what our routine. And there are times, just be flexible, because there are times things are going to happen that is way out of the structure. But what the structure does is that it provides you with a map. So if you get lost on the way, you know exactly where, okay, let me just pick up where I left off and you are back again. So create a structure, create a routine, because it will help you to manage things much, much better. You want to talk about the final one there?
Yes, the final one is seek professional help. And you hear us mention this time and time again. There are professionals in the space, although it may be scarce, but start with even getting some assistance from a counselor that is at your church, your pastor, a friend who is a very responsible individual that offers good counsel, right? Ensure that you seek professional persons are licensed counselors, speak with them. If you need to get somebody who is in the whole world of psychology and psychiatry and those sort of things, care for your mental wellness. That is very, very important. Seek professional help.
And we just want to add to the seeking of the professional help. Just be mindful that if you are going to move that child forward, you have to have things under control.
Yes.
And if you yourself are out of control by being overwhelmed and caught up with everything else, that is going to be disadvantageous for the child.
Yes.
So therefore, you have to take all of these things into consideration. You have to put them in practice. As difficult as it is, you have to put your shoulder to the wheel in order to help yourself and to help your child. With that, we say thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry and Elaine.
And I'm low and feel Elaine.
And we just want to say, don't forget to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
And make sure you hit that notification bell so the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.